Go. Hi, my name is Tucker. I'm here to refute the claim that the DMCA in its current form poses several hindrances to the consumer. My opponent first has three secondary claims. The first being the DMCA impedes fair use, the second being DMCA reduces local economic competition, and the third being DMCA stifles content creators. The first two claims my opponent makes, being that it impairs fair use and reduces economic competition through prohibition of circumvention of DRM, are addressed in the exemption made in October of 2015 by the Library of Congress. It states that the librarian has determined that the prohibition against circumvention of technology measures that effectively control access to copyrighted works set forth in the DMCA shall not apply to persons who engage in non-infringing uses of the following classes of copyrighted works. It goes on to include both movie and television and automotive, which are two of the major claims of my opponent. The motion picture part of the exemption states that motion pictures including television shows and videos as defined in the DMCA, where circumvention is undertaken solely in order to make use of short portions of the motion picture for the purpose of criticism and comment in the following instances. And every instance that they list being what he defines as fair use, being education or documentation, or for nonprofit organizations, is covered within it. And as a subsection after every single one of those instances, it says that where circumvention is undertaken using screen capture technology that appears to be publicly offered to the public, as enabling the reproduction of motion pictures after content has been lawfully acquired and decrypted. It also, Part B, includes DVDs and Blu-rays. The exemption to prohibition of circumvention of copyright protection systems for access control technologies is what it's called, and it also states in Section 6 that computer programs that are contained in and control the functioning of motorized land vehicles such as personal, automobile, and commercial motor vehicles, or mechanical agricultural vehicle, except for computer programs primarily designed for the control of telematics or entertainment systems for such vehicle, when the circumvention is necessary undertaken by an authorized owner of the vehicle to allow the diagnosis, repair, or lawful modification of the vehicle function, and where circumvention does not constitute a violation of applicable law. So the two claims that it for the John Deere case and for YouTube copyright, it does allow for people to go ahead and make use of their fair use. As for the third claim, which is the event of hindrances to content creators, my opponent defines the definition of consumer as any person who purchases or uses legal products or has a product that comes with DRM equipped software. These people who create YouTube videos cease to be consumers once they then release or produce their videos to the internet and other people start to use it. The people that are then using it are then consumers, which are the people that would be affected by the law, or by his claim rather. And also the problems with YouTube affecting individuals such as, what was his name? Chris Stuckman. Those problems are within YouTube's policy for handling the law, not the law itself, which is what my opponent claims poses the hindrances. Some of the evidence he uses also bias. The evidence of Chris Stuckman telling people about his issue with MGM and the claim on his video. The video that I watched where he disclaims this is a monetized video where he's making money, and the video before that is also making money until the claim was set up, which he's no longer a consumer in that sense. And the quote for the John Deere case is a comment for future amendments to the DMCA, it's a letter from basically John Deere, that's what it is. So I'd like to review my refutation, which is that the exemption to prohibition, circumvention of copyright protective systems for access control technologies protects fair use and allows for economic competition, and content creators are no longer considered consumers at the point of publication, and some of the evidence my opponent uses is biased. Thank you.
All right, well, I think you summarized the advocate's argument pretty well, and then you kind of get involved in arguing the first 2 points, and there's a long explanation that's a little bit complicated, and I think you could simplify it a little bit. It's pretty straightforward. The advocate has failed to recognize that there are other laws that apply here. The Library of Congress has clarified this. What the advocate said is wrong. It's as simple as that. Now, you kind of get caught up in reading all the detailed stuff in the material, which is not necessarily a bad thing to do, but I think you want to make sure that we understand what the claim is. And the claim is that these are the exemptions that are allowed, and the circumvention issue that came up has been disqualified for consumers of this information, that sort of thing, so it doesn't apply. In those circumstances. Nobody's going to be prosecuted for doing exactly the thing that he says people aren't supposed to be able to do. That's what the Library of Congress's interpretation of this law is. Period. And everything else is a little bit extraneous. So you're in essence saying the first 2 points are moot because we have a law that regulates this and allows it to happen currently. That's basically the argument that's presented. And it just gets kind of buried in there. Ultimately, I think everybody understands the point that you're making, but boy, it's a slog to get through.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a problem. The third point was not as clear, and I think we talked about this. Did I have this conversation with you? Did we talk about this issue? It just seems to me like, or maybe I made the comment when we did the evaluation of the original speech. Maybe that's where the conversation was, that once somebody is using those resources and generating income off of it, they're no longer a consumer, they are now a producer, and they're developing something, and so they fall outside of this classification of things, and that is a problem, that there is something that's wrong there. But you've got this whole argument about the John Deere case, and I vaguely remember it, so I can't say for sure how your evidence applies to that. But I think the other argument about the guy who was squawking about this, look, he was using MGM's product to sell his site. And that is a commercial use, and that's exactly the kind of stuff that the law is supposed to preclude. So that guy whining about it, he should whine about it because he's breaking the law and stealing from somebody else, which is a lot different from providing a free service. And that's basically the point you're making. All right, thank you.